When scissors become dull, there's no need for a sharpening stone. A discarded battery can make scissors sharp again. The method is very simple. Scissors are an essential tool in every household. We use them whenever we need to cut something. Many families also keep a pair of scissors specifically for handling food in the kitchen. However, after prolonged use, our scissors can become dull, especially when they come into contact with water, leading to rust on the surface. Using such dull scissors can be very inconvenient, and they might not even cut through a piece of paper. But throwing them away for a new pair is too wasteful. Today I'll teach you a few good methods to quickly make your scissors sharp again, using just a discarded battery. So let's follow along with my video. When scissors become dull, many people's first reaction is to use a sharpening stone. However, not every household keeps a sharpening stone on hand, and using one has its own techniques. If not handled correctly, you might end up making the scissors even duller. In fact, you can sharpen scissors without a sharpening stone. The method is very simple. Scissors inevitably collect impurities or rust from use. First, we need to clean the surface of the scissors. Start by placing the scissors you use for cutting food in a large basin. Then sprinkle some baking soda over the scissors and pour an appropriate amount of white vinegar on top of the baking soda. Let the scissors soak for about 5 minutes until the stains soften. Once soaked, prepare a scrubbing pad and scrub both the inside and outside of the scissors. The clean scissors I picked up after washing have had all the stains removed completely and have become much brighter. We can now start the sharpening process. The first method uses the bottom of a ceramic bowl from our home. First, squeeze some toothpaste along the edge. Toothpaste not only has cleaning properties, but the fine particles in the toothpaste can increase friction. This way, the scissors can reduce the number of times they have to glide against each other. First, let's understand the blade of the scissors. This blade has a total of 3 edges: the first edge, the second edge, and the third edge. The second and third edges are ineffective. The first and second edges are collectively referred to as the cutting surface, which we actually don't need to consider. We need to sharpen the very small third edge, known as the recognition edge. When sharpening scissors, the angle of the recognition edge is around 75 degrees, so we must pay attention to this angle while sharpening. At the same time, we should avoid pushing and pulling back and forth. Just pulling outward with force like this is sufficient. The benefit of adding toothpaste is that it can increase the friction between the scissors and the bottom of the bowl. After sharpening one side, we continue to sharpen the other side. Simply pulling the scissors slightly backward will realign the cutting edge. Now let's take a look at the cutting edge of the scissors. It's shiny and looks much sharper. We'll test it with a sock to see if the scissors are sharpened. If the scissors cut through with resistance, it means the alignment is good and they are very sharp. If the alignment is very loose, you can repeat the previous steps again. Look at how easily the sock can be cut now. It is much sharper compared to before it was sharpened. The second method actually has many things around the house that can be used to sharpen scissors, such as aluminum foil that we often use for baking. First, let's fold the foil, trying to make it as thick as possible. Then, repeatedly use the scissors to cut and open the foil. Doing this will result in the scissors becoming extremely sharp. If you want to get something done easily, this is the most straightforward method. While cutting, don't rush. Cut slowly, and instead of cutting all the way through in one go, continuously open and close the scissors. This way, the cutting edge can not only remove rust spots, but also become sharp, achieving 2 results with one effort. Many people might say this method doesn't last long. I can responsibly tell you that using a sharpening stone yields similar results. Scissors can dull if not used for a few days. So, instead of spending extra time with a sharpening stone, why not try this method? It is equally effective. Now that the foil is completely shredded, let's try testing it again by cutting the sock. This time, the scissors are noticeably sharper than the last time. We can see that the cut on the sock is very neat. This method is indeed very useful. If your scissors are dull, you might want to give this method a try. The third method is similar to the second. We can use a broken pair of scissors. They can't cut through the sock at all. This is really impressive. First, we need to prepare a soda can. Soda cans are very common nowadays. Cans from consumed cola, beer, or any beverages can be used for this. Keep it for 3 days. As for the method of sharpening scissors with an aluminum can, it can definitely keep the blade sharp for more than half a month. When collecting aluminum cans, do not cut straight down with the scissors in one go. Make sure to pause frequently while opening the scissors. This way, the scissors bite will not only improve, but the other blades will also become sharper. To put it simply, the ultimate goal of these methods is to increase the friction force when cutting. Since aluminum cans are made of a very light material, increasing the friction during the cutting process allows our scissors to become sharper, saving both time and effort. Let's give it a try. With one cut, the sock is easily cut open and the incision is very long and neat. The cut of the sock is also very tidy, which is a world of difference from before sharpening. This method is really amazing. The fourth method, apart from aluminum cans, is to use old batteries to sharpen scissors. We just need to cut the battery with the scissors, which can also make the scissors sharp. But remember, when sharpening the scissors, do not apply too much force to avoid cutting the battery in half, since there are many harmful substances inside the battery. Once these substances get onto the scissors, it's not good to use them to cut food or vegetables. Of course, there is also a layer of plastic covering the battery that can be removed beforehand to make sharpening the scissors even better. Also, be careful with the angle when sharpening. Make sure to sharpen the angled side and not the flat edge. Otherwise, the scissors will become duller. Once sharpened, let's test the results. We roll the sock thicker and see that it cuts through easily with one snip. It is particularly sharp. The cut is very neat. Let's try with a thicker roll again, and still, it cuts through with ease. It's hard to believe that an old battery can make scissors this sharp. So that concludes today's 4 little methods for sharpening scissors. Are you surprised? If your scissors at home are very dull, don't throw them away. Try out these methods and turn waste into treasure.